Beatitudes. It's going to be a really good time to kind of, I guess, hone in on what God's kind of wanting to do this year for Genuine. The Beatitudes is probably one part of the Bible that everyone knows, but no one really understands or no one really actually applies. Yet the majority of teaching these days is actually from letters of Paul. Yet this is the direct teaching of Jesus. So with that in mind, I'm going to start. Early this year, actually 2 or 3 days ago, there's a massive storm, massive tornado that hit the coast of, where Stephen lives. Stephenville, this is what Stephenville is. So Stephen, yeah, he's alive, he's good, by the way, just in case you didn't know. He's good. Although his house is a bit of a mess from trees and what have you. But I want to tell you this one thing today. There's lots of things that will happen in our lives that we might not feel so secure in. Yet we're blessed. The storms of life, so they say, will come and probably hit the coast of your own life just the way it hit the coast of Queensland. And it might just try and destroy you, and it might rip you apart, but you're still blessed. Now, the rains, as I said in the word later on, it says, the rains might come down, and the water might rise up, and it might feel that you're drowning at some point. It might feel that you're so overwhelmed, and how can I seem to be blessed in this situation? And in the midst of the rain coming down and the water rising up, the winds start to come. And the winds are pushing you from right to left, and you're thinking, man, am I really that blessed? This year's going to be a big year for January. It's not positive talking. It's not that at all. It's going to be a big year. And there's going to be times where I know you're going to be challenged. Where I know there's going to be times where you're like, man, the rain's coming down and I'm not seeing any sun. Or, the water's going to be coming up and you're going to feel like you're almost choking. And you're so close to one thing, but it seems like the wind's kind of pushing you back. This year, Genuine, I just want to tell you that you're blessed. And we're going to go through a whole stack of things this year. And I'm just going to open up that small little can of the Beatitudes, something that I feel we should really, really get into. And something that's just going to keep us grounded. Something that's going to keep us on a firm rock. I'm going to open that up a little bit later. So let's be blessed, let's just pray and give this to God, and we're just going to see what He does with us. So Father, Lord, we thank You for this year, Lord. We thank You, Lord, for just this country we live in, that we're so blessed, Lord. That we are so blessed. And Lord, in the midst of what people might say, might think, what the world might deem as right and wrong, Lord, we want to stay firm. Lord, when the rains come down, Lord, we want to stay firm. And Lord, when the waters feel like it's choking us, Lord, when life seems a little bit too tough, even when we're starting to put our first step into this year and trying to dedicate it to You, Lord, we want to stay firm. And Lord, when the winds of this life and the toughness of friends and peer pressure and all the rest of it feels like it's ripping us apart, Lord, we want to stay firm. And so, Lord, I just pray, Lord, that this year that we'll just grow, Lord, we'll just be stretched, be strengthened, Lord, encouraged, and Lord, we'll just grow as a youth and know who You are, even more. Lord, I give You this time and just speak, Father, in the name of Jesus. I pray, amen. Amen. Now, I want to tell you something about this awesome passage. But first, I'm going to read it. It's Matthew 5. If anyone's got their Bibles, it's Matthew 5. And these are things that we're going to open up this year. It might seem a bit full on. Hey, most people everyone's got a Bible.
Yay!
Dude, this is epic. Yeah. Sweet.
Timmy doesn't.
He's got a ball, but that's alright. It starts with a B, right?
No one. It's right there. Yeah. Oh, good try.
I'll be in the teacher. Matthew 5, yeah? Let's do some reading. It says, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It goes further, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the poor in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those when people insult you, persecute you, and even falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of it. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. I want to tell you a little bit about this time. This is very, very important what Jesus is saying. And it goes on even from chapter 5 right through to chapter 7. And he opens up to these people because they yearn for an answer. They're actually yearning for an answer because in this time, it's like messville. It is pretty nasty. And these people are crying out like, God, how am I blessed right now? Teach me how to be blessed right now. I want to know you and I want to be blessed. Right now, at this moment, there's confusion in the people. People are now in slavery. So, literally, people are now possessions. They're not like people anymore. They're possessions, yeah? There's warfare going on. There's adultery rampant everywhere. The tax rate was ridiculous. It was like 30%. And so, say for example, you made, I don't know, $1,000, 300 of that dollars would be thrown and it wouldn't even be yours. So it was this tax rate, and the Romans were so powerful. And there was sort of like these three groups of people that were there in this time. And this is the mentality of the people that are hearing this message. And this is why you start to realize, and hopefully, you'll start to realize why this is such an impactful part of the Bible. So there's these three people. The first people are called the Zealots. Now these Zealots are like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of that world. Yeah, they're just like, all they care about is machinery. All they care about is the military kind of belief. They don't want to worry about what's sort of inside the inner being, nurturing their own self. All they care about is just getting these weapons going, just taking power like that. I kind of call them America, so to speak. But there's also an American like this. Actually, you know, let's call them China, because they're like nuked up. Russia. North Korea. They're taking over China. So North Korea, alright, cool. And then you've got the second lot of people, right? And the second lot of people are called the Sadducees. And these are the people that all want to do this, have this personal gain. All they want to do is try and bargain for the best sort of deal, and they just want to be like, this is me, this is me, this is me, this. They just want to add to stuff. People like America. China. There's a whole load of countries that you're seeing in here. So you have like Arnold Schwarzenegger / China / North Korea / just North Korea. And then you've got Mauritius, who are like, the Pharisees. Say, trust in the Lord. And so you got with all this confusion, all these people are going, well, there's money going everywhere, I don't have any money. A lot of my family are in slavery. How am I really free? There's adultery that's going rampant. I'm not making any money because the taxes are going up. God, I want to know that I'm blessed, yet there's this kind of power, military force and mentality that I probably should adopt. And yet there's maybe a greed mentality that I should probably just grab all this stuff. And yet there's this one that says, just, it's okay, be still and just praise God. In the midst of all this, there's a carpenter that walks through. Humble guy, very, very simple, named Jesus. And he says he's got the answer. And he says, in the midst of all of these things, you are blessed. And the one cry that all these people say is, Lord, how are we blessed? Can you tell me how I'm blessed right now? Can you tell me why I'm blessed? And he says some amazing words. You know, in chapter 5, it goes forth and it starts telling us about, in John chapter 2, it tells us that Jesus knows every man's heart. He didn't need to hear a testimony of what man was like because he knew. And so Jesus, hearing and already knowing what man were craving for, the answers of confusion that were going through their head, how do we look upon this world and life? Jesus speaks. And when Jesus speaks, people listen. You know, Jesus would walk through the streets and literally just bless people. People would just grab onto his cloak and they'll be healed. Hey, Jesus, what do I do in this situation? Da, 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 da. Jesus would even come to people and bless them. It was ridiculous. And so you have this whole image here of Jesus just opening up his mouth and speaking. I think the ESV says it so well. And this is said on top of a mountain, by the way, and I'll get to that in a second. It says, Jesus opened his mouth and then he spoke. So it was like, in that time when teachers sat down, when rabbis sat down, these people who knew lots of stuff, they would sit down, people would sit before them, and he would just, and it was gold. It says in chapter 7 that the people were amazed when Jesus spoke. You know why? Because Jesus understood each one's heart and their cry, and he hit it right on the spot. He tells us all about this in all of the Beatitudes. The people were absolutely amazed. They wanted answers, and they waited in eager anticipation. But let's get a bit more scene-wise. Jesus actually retreated up into the mountains. He did this from time to time to just be quiet, or God, read, pray, just intimate with God. And he goes, it was like, who does tutoring here? Anyone tutors get tutoring? 1, 2, 2. I had like English and math. I had like 2. I was a pretty special kid. Anyway, and so this is what Jesus does. He goes, you know what, I'm going to teach you guys a little bit more. He goes, I'm going to have like a special class. This is like an extra tutoring session. This is like the holiday classes where God speaks to you, takes you up to a mountain and gives you like a one-on-one about the most important things of life. I don't know about you, man. I want to be there. And so this is like the summer class, the summer school of teaching. And Jesus takes his disciples and he goes up to the mountains. Yet, all the people that were touched by him, seeing all his glory, they followed him. So this is, if you start to read it, it was like sort of designed for the disciples to further them, to kind of let them know about who they are and why they're so blessed. Because they were going to do some great things. And it goes further, and this is the most coolest thing ever. And Jesus starts to unravel all their concerns that they have in their own heart. It's so good because it tells me that, you know what, sometimes to have the most intimate time with God, we sometimes need to step away from where we actually are and just spend time with God. Sometimes the most incredible moments that you'll have with God is just between you and him, not necessarily on the mountain, but where he wants to speak. And sometimes the easiest place for him to be heard is for you to have intimate time with God. You think about it. I mean, when you're praising before him, just listening, you just know you're blessed. And there's times when you just want to have that passionate moment with him in stillness, quietness. The Bible says about in prayer, go upstairs in your room,